welcome back to London Travelers, and this is the second day of 3 days in London with the London Pass. And so we've talked about visiting Westminster Abbey, the London Eye, St. Paul's Cathedral, hop on and hop off bus, and the Shard on your first day. And this is your second day now in London, and I want to just add that you can mix and match the attractions that you want to see within the 3 days. You don't have to see Westminster Abbey, uh, the Shard, St. Paul's Cathedral, hop on and hop off, London Night in one day. You can just split it between 3 days. Just use this as a guide. Really, you don't really need to do it religiously, and it's not a rigid itinerary. So, anyway, second day in London, I think in the morning you should just have breakfast and then just chill in the local park. Um, I suggest somewhere like Jubilee Gardens, just below London Eye. And if you haven't done so already, if you really, really want to go on the London Eye, um, just make sure you register first before you enter, um, and then book a time slot and go from there. And it will just take half an hour um, to go on the pod, and um, that way, that's out of the way because London Eye is not really priority on um, my bucket list when I went. But if you really want to go, then go in the morning at 10 o'clock or in the evening when it's dark. It's nicer in the evening when the sun sets, because you can see the twinkling lights below. But anyway, for the sake of this video, on the second day, you just relax um, at the park. There's Hyde Park, Kensington Gardens, Green Park, St James's Park by Buckingham Palace. Um, there's so many parks to choose from, but make sure you go back to the South Bank by 12 to have lunch. And by 1 o'clock, you can visit uh, Tower Bridge. And Tower Bridge lasts about 40 minutes. And maybe visit Tower Bridge at around 12, um, but have a quick lunch because by 1:30 you're going to visit Tower of London. The only reason why I suggested to see two attractions today is because in the morning your feet will be tired from the previous day. I'm telling you that now because one day in London for me, it, if you've been walking around for a long time, there's lots of walking in London. Then you need a rest on your second day and just rest for about 2-3 hours. Um, there's lots of cafes and restaurants there. If you do want to visit the pub, um, pubs usually open a little bit later. They don't really do breakfast. I don't know any pubs that do breakfast really. So by 11-12, they're already open for their first customer. Um, but cafes open really early if you want to just get coffee and croissants. I can't pronounce croissants, but um, breakfast. Londoners usually grab and go um, at Cafe Nero, Costa, or Pret um, by London Bridge before they go to work. But anyway, have not dinner, breakfast and then by say 12, 11 or 12 visit Tower Bridge. So Tower Bridge is a bridge in London, obviously, and it's got lots and lots of history. And it was built in the 1800s, and it's more about the engineering work of the bridge itself. And it's actually quite interesting to hear um, the history of how the bridge was built. If you love engineering and you love history, then this is for you. And the tour lasts for 40 minutes. And when you queue up by the walkway where everyone walks from A to B. So you'll be cramped um, like sardines if you go up the lift with other people. But if you don't want to be cramped like sardines, then you can go up the stairs if you're fit enough. There's a medieval staircase where not a lot of people will attempt to go up, and it's more quieter. And even if you take the lift, it's only like 2 minutes with everyone else, so it's not like a big deal. A lot of people on the internet were complaining that they were like packed like sardines, um, and they were crushed, but it was just like a 30-second um, lift to go up. It's not a big deal. But anyway, Tower Bridge, there's a lot of interactive videos and replicas of the bridge itself, as well as the miniature version of um, the bridge. And um, I went in 2019, so um, I can't really remember at the top of my head in detail what happened, but that's the highlight of my experience. Um, and you get to walk on the glass floor at the top, and below is the River Thames. And a lot of people try to attempt it, or they walk on the side of the bridge. And if you do attempt to walk on the glass floor, you'll get a sticker. So I'm not certain whether you'll still get a sticker in 2026, because I went a long time ago, 8 years ago. Maybe they'll give you a sticker, but so if you're brave enough, go for it. Um, and yeah, and I think that's it really. And then they take you downstairs again, outside, and then you'll be taken to the museum where the engines are. It's called the engine room. It's not really the engine room like what the internet says. Oh, you get to see the engine room. Um, if you do want to see the engine room, just give them a call or email to say, I'm interested to see what the engine room looks like. But um, for this tour, it's a museum where the steel engines are, and you get to learn about that. um, and yeah, and then after the engine room, you finish your tour. It's not a long tour really. It's just for people who love engineering. And also, um, the bridge doesn't really open up now. Rarely does it open up in this day and age in 2026. It hasn't opened up for ship or big boats. And it happens once in a blue moon, because I think it opened up during the 19th century when South Bank were full of factories, and um, there were lots of ship and boats that carried goods from different parts of England through the River Thames, because the River Thames is really big, and there were factories, there were docks, and then sometimes Tower Bridge has to open up for these ships and boats. But now the docks and the previous factories back in the day, they're full of restaurants, hotels, and offices. But you can still see like the paintings of what it used to be like, so and so factory or so and so dock, and it's already like washed up and old. But I think they like to keep it for history's sake. But yeah, that's a good history lesson, a brief history lesson of Tower Bridge and South Bank. So after Tower Bridge, go ahead and visit Tower of London. Get there by 1:30, 2 o'clock the latest. So when I went was when it was 2019 and during Easter. And funnily enough, there weren't a lot of people during Easter. I think it was because it was raining. It wasn't a sunny day. So from what I remember, sorry, you they group you with 20 other people, and then the beef eater will um, tell you a story about William the Conqueror, um, King Henry VIII, and obviously King uh, William the Conqueror built the Tower of London, and he'll tell you a bit about who was imprisoned there, who got executed there, who lived there. Obviously, King Henry VIII and his 6 wives, and it's quite an interesting anecdote that they'll explain, and also they use the typical British humor. One time he said that he wanted to order pizza, and then the pizza delivery guy couldn't really find Tower of London, which was really funny, and things like that. They just add it into the tour. Um, and they're really nice. After the tour, you can do whatever you want. You can go to the Crown Jewels area, where you'll see crowns and jewels, and you'll see the crown that Queen Elizabeth wore during her coronation. Queen Victoria and King Charles are current king at the moment, and it's still shiny to this day. And if you're interested in British history, then the Crown Jewels area is a go-to place to learn about that. And Also, King Henry VIII used to have feasts there with his friends and family while there were prisoners on the other side of the Tower of London, who were cold and hungry and dying. And then you can see the etches on the wall, on the medieval wall, saying that no one will survive this prison alive. They'll die there. And it was really cold when I visited some of these towers, and I could just feel how they felt. And thinking about Henry VIII having a nice feast on the other side of the tower, it just I show I did like feel a little bit of empathy towards these prisoners. But yeah, the Tower of London is like literally a playground, um, where you can just run around like as if it's a park. Um, you can see kids running around the grounds, playing, and Also, the ravens, they're like medieval birds. Um, they were like wild birds, like pigeons and crows. They're not really crows that you'll find around London, because they're smaller. I think crows. Ravens are medieval birds that were around back in the day. I think it was during um, 19th century that they were around, but they became extinct. Um, but I'm not sure if you're aware of this legend that if um, the ravens weren't around anymore, then the Tower of London will collapse, and then there'll be like a bad omen in London. But sorry, but I think that's just a myth. So anyway, you'll see um, Henry VIII's bed, um, and um, who got executed there, imprisoned there, um, and yeah, and it's quite educational, really. Tower of London, and by say 4 or 5, um, it will be getting darker, and then depending on when you go, um, in spring, summer, the sun sets later. So by 4 or 5, it will still be light, um, but not dark. And that's why I recommend, you know, visiting the Tower of London last, because you can just relax at the end of the day after visiting London Eye, if you feel like it, and Tower Bridge, and then now Tower of London, and then you can just have dinner by the Thames, which is quite romantic. Um, but yeah, I think that's it really on your second day, and I'll post a link on my blog post, 3 days in London with the London Pass, and I'll also um, include whether the London Pass is worth it um, in this video, because I've got another video um, on YouTube about that, and it's just going to be too long if I include it here. I'm also a part of Go City London Pass affiliate program. So if you book the London Pass through me, I get a commission from them with no extra cost to you. So it will really help me out with my blog and my YouTube channel as well. So I do appreciate that. So yeah, I think that's it really. So if you like my video, please comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you on the third day then. Bye.